Okay, welcome one, welcome all. Back in Dreams for some more music production. I'm Ten Bensons, also known as the Jimp or Jim P. And let's get back to what I was doing yesterday. I do have my Move controllers, so I might switch over to those at some point because I really struggled with the DS4. It just seems a bit out. Also, I've uploaded the signs, the detune signs, for people just to like use as an instrument, play around with, rip it apart. I don't really care at all. So let's get back into this one then. The rather brilliantly titled DMB starter. Get into edit mode, and I'm going to turn on studio lighting. This should another thing that I'd like. Come on, defaults, please. Right. Now, the last thing I remember doing was the vocal cut samples. If you hear my dogs, I've got two dogs right next to me, and they're fighting right now, like having a bit of a play fight. So apologies if that comes through. Let's have a little listen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, did I put some kind of randomization? Already, I want to go back to Move controllers already. I mean, look at the angle I'm having to hold here. It ain't right. It ain't right. I mean, I can zoom in to kind of like shorten the angle I have to move, but okay. To reset the imp because it's drifting again. Yeah, volume seems about right, but did I put some kind of randomization on that? Something. Because I noticed a couple of those vocal hits, each pass through is slightly different. I did, didn't I? Because I used grain. I used granular synthesis, and I'm sure. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that worked really well, I think, for those vocal samples. So much so that I might actually leave them as they are. I really quite like them. So let's think about building this into something more than just a 4-bar loop. So I'm going to extend. That wasn't quite Zelda, but I'm going to extend this out. We're going to go for a 16 bars. And I'm going to move everything. I'm going to shorten. Oh, I'm going to shorten this though, back to 4 bars, and we'll think about adding a an AB pattern or an ABC at some point in the future. So let's move all these. Okay, but I'm going to extend out just one more, if I can. Okay, one more, because then I'm going to move these. Idiot. Always pressing the wrong buttons. Move these. So that hopefully by 16 bars we're going to start bringing in the bass or something. It might not be. I mean, right. I'm going to also extend these out because I think I have to. The master mixer. No. Actually, I can have it outside the timeline. because that's what I did with this delay, and this delay now affected the entire scene as a whole. Same with this music channel. We'll get that out here. Be nice if I could. Why can't I just bring this to the foreground? I can bring it up. I seriously got to do this. I'm probably going to have to do the tutorials with the controller. I did all the tutorials with Move controllers, and yeah, I don't quite know how to do the old imp reach with the controllers. Let me just. Is it bumper buttons? Aha! Right, so I am really sorry that I'm doing basic stuff, but yeah, I really need to figure out movement with the controller. Not the most exciting start, granted. Right, when I'm roughly near each other. There we go. Okay, so let's think then. We're going to want... Dogs fighting. We're going to want something to lead into this drum pattern. Let's deselect everything. I'm going to drag a copy of it. Because we're going to keep things nice and simple, actually. So we'll do 8 bars before we get the drums, and then another 8 bars before we maybe get the vocals, and then another 8 bars, or another 16 until we get the bass, although 16 might be a bit too long. So, for the first 8 bars, we're going to want something a little bit gentle. The drums, I'm probably going to just chop out maybe a few things. Might just leave... No, not chop out, sorry. I might add a few things and chop out some of the others. We'll see how it goes. So, oh, Jesus. Let's have a look then. Just make sure this is all set properly. Yep. We'll have a look. And... Now that's stamping. What? I'm not in music mode, am I? That's why. And we can go for clips, although I kind of like doing things from scratch, but for the sake of time, because I realised I went on for quite a bit yesterday, we'll go and look at some loops. Okay, so textures. We'll have a look in textures in a second, but we'll go for melodic. I actually really like the sound of that chimes melody. That's quite nice as well. The Well, we'll go with that because it's in the key of D. Um, but I mean, I'll have a quick look, see what we've got. I don't actually know. If this is sample based, let's have a look. Yes, it's slices, isn't it? So it uses sound effects. And they're using granular synthesis. I can't remember how. Oh, that was it, wasn't it? It was this, and then I go slice mapper. So briefly, I mean, you can record things into dreams, which is exactly what the, from what I can tell, the developers have done. So all this here is all taken from an instrument, and then they've recorded it in. Nice, 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 nice. So I've not seen this, so I'm just looking at. So we've got like a rudimentary kind of audio, almost loop editor. Okay, so everything's built up of slices. So it's not quite like an instrument as such that you would say get in. Docs are going crazy, so doing. So that can make it a little bit more difficult to really tweak everything that you want. Because obviously I'm working with a sound that's already tweaked from a synth and then recorded in, so I can't actually edit the bass sound, which is it's a shame, but it does mean that I can record my own. I do need to get hold of somebody in their audio team stroke legal department to find out whether or not I can import my own samples that I've bought, say, from Loopmasters, or a vocal pack that I've got from, for example, I've got one from Hospital Records that I bought years and years ago. Um, and as far as I remember, I'm licensed to be able to use that in any production, but I don't know about the legal rights here. So I presume, and this is only a presumption, that everything that I create actually in Dreams is not, it's not quite my intellectual property. It will be the intellectual property of Media Molecule and then by extension Sony. As far as I'm aware, I don't know, but I need that kind of clarification. And I think all people that make stuff need that kind of clarification, because it will be a bit of a bummer if you make something that that gets really popular, only to find that they have to get their greasy fucking hands all over it, because um, that's just how businesses like to fuck people over. Anyway, okay, so we got this. We've got this keys loop. That is far too fast. So I'm going to try and stretch that out to 8 bars. I don't know if you can stretch. There is a stretch tool in. This would be amazing if this is a thing. If there's there is a stretch tool. Let's move. Damn it. No, you're not going out. Let me just go out of audio mode. If I can remember how. Tools. We want. Have I suddenly forgotten how to come out of audio mode? Can't I come out of this? Search. No, I don't want to search. I want to come out of audio. Because I want... Is it because I've got a loop selected or something? No, I don't have a loop selected. How odd. What? I want to come out of audio. I don't want a timeline. I want tools. I want to exit audio mode. I just want to exit audio mode. Close mode menu. Right, there's usually a little thing down here that will say exit the mode. And it's not here. And that's undo, redo. I have no idea what the hell's going on. Just say now, I mean, for argument's sake, let's just say I now wanted to do some sculpture. How would I now do some sculpture? Undo, redo. Let's try selecting something. Nope. Nope. I've just got a feeling that I'm missing something and I'm being stupid. Right, all else fails. Quick save, exit, and we'll go back into edit. There we go. What? Where was this menu? This entire menu? Maybe it was just. Maybe it bugged out. I don't know. But I'm glad it's back. Anyway, so we want to try and use a stretch tool. I've got a feeling this is not going to work. But it would be pretty epic if it did. Has it? Has it just done that? Let's have a listen then. It has. Right, so there's like a time stretch. That's pretty cool. Let me just try that again, but this time without. Shut up. Without the stretch tool. I'm gonna go back into music mode. Fight this bloody controller. Let's go back into music mode. Recenter that. Can I do it just... So, I didn't need to actually do it with the stretch tool. You can do it on the fly. That is pretty fucking smart. That really is pretty fucking smart. I want to change this sound. In fact, I also might want to edit some of those notes. I might just delete it actually. Get some chords going instead. First of all, we will try just dropping something over this. Where's it? See, it's done it again. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong when I've gone into music mode? Why can't I come out of music mode? I don't get it. I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter at the moment. So, wanted loops, didn't we? No, I don't. I can actually just now drop an instrument over it. So we shall look at instruments. Some synths. I'm have to go into synths because pads. And over there's leads. Not really. I mean, some of them are really quite nice, but I'm not feeling any sound as such that's... That possibly. That kalimba. Right, I've just got to let my dog out. So, well, I will do in a sec. Actually, we'll get something a little bit more substantial than that. Yeah, so those notes are a little bit too quick, aren't they? Let's have a look. Yeah. So I'm going to actually delete these, I think. And get some chords in there, I think would be more appropriate. Is there a delete all? I remember seeing something that where there was a delete all. It would make things a little bit easier than doing what I'm doing now. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, and now we're going to switch on chord mode. Screen, just going to check. And that was the... Okay, so switch on chords. Which is... Is it here? This was chord mode. And sound gadgets. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Checking tools. Bends. Semitones. Music snap. Red snap. Okay. Okay. Why do I feel like some things are missing? Clone move. I feel like some things are missing. Legato. Yeah, we'll switch legato on for the moment. Bends, semitones. Red snap. This isn't right. There should be a thing for me to get into chords. It's all going wrong. Down as an instrument. Settings. Grid snap. No, turn that off. And this is supposed to be, it was supposed to be right here, I swear. What the hell is going on? Still telling me there's a note there as well, which I can't see. Nope. I am absolutely puzzled as to why things don't seem to be where they are, where they should be. Right. Okay. Just try something. I don't understand. Okay, let's come out of piano. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because I'm in piano mode and I'm being an absolute tit, and you can only draw chords. But there we go. Apologies. I've been an absolute pain. There's our chords. I don't know what happened there. Was that me? Nice to be able to just lock in. Stick to a triad. What happened there? So I've got pitch bend. What is going on? Okay, so I do quite like this sound. We'll try. I've not done much recording in this, so we shall see how it goes. It would be nice to be able to just loop this timeline. We want it to go here. We don't. That's not 8 bars, mate. Yeah, that's it. Resize. Okay. Let's try some actual recording. This is really, really annoying that I can't just go, right, I want that octave, lock it in. Because then I want to bring my controller back here. That's it. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's rewind and yeah. Can I extend into negative? Doesn't look like I can. Oh, hang on. No, that would have been nice actually. Just to hang on. Yes, I can. Nice. Okay, so I'll give myself a 2-bar heads up. Okay then, let's give it another go. So much for the counting. What happened to the counting? I mean, I'm not even getting a metronome here. In the pre. That's not right. Okay. Because I haven't got this selected, do I have to have the instrument selected? My God, it's recorded that already. Okay, let's stop performing for a second. We shall... I want to get rid of those. So... oh yeah, those are the ones that I added earlier. Do you know what? It might even be better just me to draw these in the bloody piano roll. Because I seem to be having a real hard time. There's that rogue note. Turn the metronome off now. Okay. I can't remember what I was starting on. Go back to this. Right. E and a D. So, feeling it's going to be you. One thing I will say is I'm not a musician, so I know some basic things about music and the language thereof, but most music theory I have no idea about. I'm not too sure. Like, I won't be able to tell you without looking at my phone the notes in D minor. I did have a notebook somewhere that I was able to work out a minor key with the whole tone, semitones, tone, semitone, tone. Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember. But drag you out as our bass, and it was E and then to D, wasn't it? I think. That needs trimming. And then I am going to have to... I grab my notebook. We'll do that. We'll actually figure it out rather than just me looking on my phone to get D minor key. We'll figure it out. So back in a second. Right, so here we go. God, these are some old notes that I wrote years ago. And I need to figure out a minor key. It's whole notes, half note, whole note, whole note, half note, whole note, whole note. And that will give me the scale. So, for D, we're going to go a whole note. So D, semitone, semitone. So we're looking at F sharp. And then a half, G. And then a whole note, A. Another whole note, B. Then a half, so C. Then a whole. Can't be right. Have I gone? I've gone wrong somewhere, haven't I? Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna. I don't have a pen. I don't have a pen, so I can't write them down. I should write down every time I figure out a key. I should write it down. It's been ages. See, I've also taken a break from music production. I haven't actually really produced anything for 2.5 years. And this was kind of like the last stuff I was doing. Okay. I'm also going to stop that so you don't get that random drum sample. Yeah, so as a whole note, a half note, whole note, whole note, half note, whole note, whole note. Let's actually draw the notes in as well. So oh god. Trying very hard to not want to use the move controllers. Right. So we will draw in our notes. So we're going to do a whole note. We'll drag that across. Delete you. In fact, we'll make these small. So we get that nice cadence. So we've got a whole note. Now we're going to do a half. I'm going to do a whole note. Nope. For God's sake. So finicky this. And then we got, where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. It's not right. Hang on. Whole note. Half. Whole note. No, it's another whole. then a half. Then 2 whole notes. Okay, that doesn't seem right still because I'm ending up on E. My notes must be wrong. But I've given the example, see in my notes here, I know you can't see them, I've given the example of A minor, which is the easiest one to remember, isn't it? Because obviously it's just all the white keys, just like C major. And it is the natural minor of C major. And following the example, it works fine. So I'll go a whole note from A to B, then a half from B to C, then a whole from C to D, then a whole from D to E, then a half from E to F, then a whole from F to G, and then a whole from G to A. But what I've done here is I've gone D, whole note to my fucking god. I've just realised. This is how stupid life can be. Well, I can be at life. I'm not on D. That's D. I'm on E. Fuck's sakes. So, I can't believe I've spent all that time. I'll drag you. Right, there we go. There is D minor. That's D minor. So we can build our chord progression from using these notes here. So I was started on E. So if we're going to use E, and we'll drag that one over here, we're going to build a basic triad. So we're going to use E, and then we're going to go up 1, up 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, because we're going to use the third and the fifth notes to build our triad, because they'll sound nice. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. It's F. And then from F, that was 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got our B sharp, we've got F, and we've got E. No, not F, that's D. D, rather. D, 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 D. G. My god, I'm twisting my own head around. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, and if I'm getting confused at basic music theory, then it just shows you what a fucking dunce I really am. So don't beat yourself up if you don't understand music theory. I don't. Just laugh it off and continue on. Okay, because it's all about having fun and enjoying yourself. And trust me, from someone who struggles with their music and it sounding good, this is actually making me have fun with music again. Even if I don't actually fucking know what I'm doing half the time. So let's stretch this out to 2 bars and let's give it a listen. So we're going to hear the scale, which will be quite quick, and then we will hear this chord. Oh no, we'll just hear the chord. That's our chord. Right. So that's our E chord. Now we're going to make our D chord. And one of the easiest ways of doing that would be to take the chord that we've already got. It's not going to match up perfectly, but we'll take this and we will clone it and then transpose it. Transpose means move. I got it there on D. And what we're going to do is exactly the same again. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we've got F. And then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so F is fine. D, E, F. But on our 5th note, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. On A. Yep. You'll notice that we need to move one of our notes upwards. So let's deselect that, and then we'll move it up one. Snap is really finicky. Right. So there we go. We've got our E and we've got our D. 2 triad chords. Normally it's a lot quicker, a lot easier to do in a full-on music production audio workstation. Digital audio workstation, or DAW. It sounds so weird calling it a DAW. But then, I suppose, open the door, open the door. Right. So, I can actually delete these for the moment. Although I kind of want to keep them but mute them. And I don't know if I can mute individual notes. I don't think I can. I don't think I can. Which is a shame. Okay, but if I delete them, it means that I will have to learn again how to do the key. And the more I do that, the more I learn it. I don't know why I can't adjust. So I'm going to have to move them, and then... In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave a little bit of note going into the other one, because if I remember, I did turn on legato. So hopefully using the glide means that they'll kind of slide into each other a little bit. So let's select all these again because we need to move them. And I can now move these. Yeah, so you'll notice that it doesn't quite sound right. Because of the amount of delay and reverb, they kind of slightly don't mesh quite well. They're clashing a little bit there. So hopefully we might be able to sort that out with the glide. It's only very slight. It's not a major issue. If there was if the keys if the notes weren't in the correct key, the clashing would be much more pronounced. Now, what's turning this into an 8-bar? So extend that out to the 8. And I'm debating whether or not just to repeat this, so we'll have 2-bar, 2-bar, and then 2-bar, 2-bar, or to extend them out so that it covers the full 4 and then the full 4. I'm going to try, at the moment, just keeping it 2 bars per chord. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Right, stop that. We can get rid of this for now. I'm just going to see what's going on with this kick coming. I don't know whether that's just a quirk of this. Yeah, because the kicks. Okay, that doesn't. Okay, looks like I'd stretched it. I'm just going to listen to that again because where I'd stretched it, it might. Yeah. I knew something was off with it. I think that's just a quirk of the engine when you hear that little kick drum hit away there. Okay, so let's have a bit more fun rather than frustration with notes. Sorry, I was just checking a text there. I've got people trying to get me onto Sea of Thieves. Right, I'm going to edit the ADSR. I'm going to give it a bit of an attack, just to let those notes kind of have a bit of not breath, but space at the beginning. Amazing! What a difference that makes. So I'll show you. So I'll A/B that for you. So this is roughly default. You hear that kind of. Not that. Beyond this bit. Okay, maybe not. It was definitely there. Let's reset it. Apparently I don't know what I'm fucking talking about. I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I prefer it. I find it sounds a bit smoother with a more open attack. The kick drum's really starting to annoy me. GGGGs. Let's not forget that. So I'm just going to solo this for now. I'm also going to open up the release a little here. So attack, decay, sustain, release. And they're all important, but I would say the two most important ones are your attack and release. They're the ones that you're going to notice have like a real immediate impact on your sound. So if I open up the attack all the way, hear how it's ramping that volume? That's your attack. So bring that back down. But now you notice that my release, because the envelope's only so long, that it's squished my release all the way. And now at the end, it almost sounds like it's got a bit of a reverse, like kind of like sucking that you get with the reverse, which is actually quite cool. I quite like it, to be honest with you. But we will open up the release, and this is going to make if I press a key and then let go, the release is how long it fades away after I've let go of the key. That's the simplest way I can think of describing it. So we're going to have why is that tempo 100%? So we'll have it like that, with the attack slightly open, the release a little bit more so. Pitch we won't need to bother with, but glide, we're going to try a bit of glide. Turn that off. Put it back on. You hear it's kind of imagine like a sine wave, so a snake, okay? And glide is kind of making things kind of snake into each other. Remember, all this stuff it's very subtle. If you were to do it to extremes, it becomes more noticeable, obviously, but you want to keep things a little bit subtle. Especially in the type of track that I'm thinking of making, which is more of a kind of like moody liquid roller. So yeah, I'm happy with that at the moment. I'm gonna have a bit of a play with stereo width, and I'm also gonna have a swig of me tea, because once again I've left me tea to go cold. So nice cold tea. I did say I'd let me dog out, but I shall do that. I should do that after I've pissed around with this for a bit. Okay. Right, stereo width. We're going to want it nice and wide. Not too... actually, I'll drop that down a bit. We don't want it too wide, because the thing with stereo width is that the more wide you make something, the more power it loses when it comes to mixing together. So when you've got something that's mono, it's really, really strong in your mix, and then when you start pushing things out, you'd think, oh, we're going from one speaker to now two speakers, surely it's going to get more powerful. No, it doesn't work that way. The more you push something further into a stereo field, in fact, the more you're kind of pushing it away. You know, you are the center, your head is the center. Okay, so remember that, bear that in mind when it comes to stereo mixing. Surround mixing, like I said yesterday, I have no clue. I've never mixed in surround in my life. So I'm going to ditch these rear speaker stuff. I don't need that. Okay, I'm going to mess around with the XY offset, because I wanted to bring that over here. And I'm thinking maybe I'll give it a little tickle in this little circle here. Right, my dog's whining. I've really got to let my dog out. It will take 10 seconds. I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that, but dog's got to do what dog's got to do. So yeah, I'm going to automate this. This is something I didn't get to show you yesterday. I'm going to automate this with a keyframe. So I'm going to get this to kind of just gently tickle in here towards the end of the 8 bars. I don't know if to add some more delay. Always good to add a bit of delay and reverb. I want it too high though. I want it to wash out. Now, if I remember, this was using granular synthesis, wasn't it? Excuse me. It's incredible what you can do with this. And we do have a sine wave, just gently tickling away in there. I'm going to adjust the release of that as well. And then adjust the attack of it. Kind of get it to just semi-follow the envelope that I put in the main section there. Right. Some of this I've never seen. So I don't know what this box is. I have no idea how this box has appeared. Looks like that's compression. So yeah, why is the compressor controlling the filter? I mean, it's or is that the audio effect? Do you know, that's going to be an audio effect field doing that, isn't it? Surely. I'm not too sure. Okay, some distortion. Got it on soft clipper. I think I like that. Again, it would be nice to really have some visual feedback here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that little bit of kind of like high-end. I don't really think I need to mess with compression too much. Okay. Should make that pink. I kind of like that. It's not ideal. But it will do. And we will make a few kind of like one-shots for drums and effects at a later date. So we'll fill that out. Stop that. And let's think about how we are going to move that up. How we're going to bring in the drums. Maybe even might even be worth bringing something else in before we bring the drums, just because it's quite short. 8 bars isn't very long at all, but for the sake of time, I'm trying to keep it nice and short. So I'm actually going to repeat this. And oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Or am I? No, not yet. I was going to do some X and Y, wasn't I? Some keyframe automation. So it's time to make our beloved friend the timeline. And handily, it's already at 8 bars. So we'll open that up. We will drag in our pad, which I'm going to rename as well. I'm not, because I'm not going to press the right button. And I'm just going to call this wash pad. Okay. Now, keyframes. Took me a while to figure out how to add automation. And I tried using an action recorder to begin with, but that didn't go so well. So we're going to use keyframes, and they are in the animate. And we start with our first one. And keyframes only record the start and end of a particular object that you want to manipulate. That there, you can see that it's got those dotted lines. That lets me know that the keyframe has recognised that I've moved that very slightly. And the reason why I didn't move it all the way to where I want it is because we're going to use 2 keyframes. I think this is a technique they use in actual animations. So, right, we'll stop recording. We'll leave that up. We will get ourselves another keyframe, and we're going to put it at the end of what we're automating, stroke animating. And then I'm going to move it to where I want, because now it's going to remember where that first keyframe is going to remember where it starts from, or where I moved it to begin with, and this one's going to remember where this finishes. So okay, maybe that's a little bit too there. Okay, so stop recording. And at the moment, there's not really, much going on. But you notice then, when I highlight in between the two, we get this little band. And if you look at the imp there, you've got L1 and X to change the blend. And the blend is literally like moving a fader. So imagine it like an envelope, or if you're thinking, physically moving a fader, you've got that automation curve, so to speak. So I want it to be not as gentle as this. Different ones there. So I think the second one is more what I would like. And if we scope on in, we have got some tweaking options. So if I increase the strength, you'll notice that that curve will get sharper, which is kind of what I want. I don't want it all the way, so we'll leave it around about 80%. Slow power up. Is that if I keep changes? No. Is that if no. I don't know what the power up does, and I don't know if it makes any difference. That could be something to do with a patch wire. I I don't know. There's so much experimentation left to do in this. It's incredible. So we'll give that a play, and we'll solo it. And hopefully we'll start to hear no. Didn't really hear that. Right, let's just check to make sure it's actually activating that XY. So it is, but I've got a feeling we're going to need to move this keyframe or possibly reduce the strength so that it reaches that top for longer. It might even be worth changing it to this blend. And yeah, it's not quite how I would like. That's a little bit better. It's very subtle though, a bit too subtle for my liking. So what might happen is this keyframe here, I might edit it again. I might re-edit it to move that XY a little bit harder. Let's try edit keyframe. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so that is definitely better, but now it's a bit too early in its strength. Okay, that's closer to what I was expecting. A bit of springiness. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that one. That one seems okay. It's not perfect. It's okay. Yep. Right. I mean, anything else really, I can probably use a filter cutoff to get some movement in there. Let's rename that timeline as well to wash pad, and change the color to pink. Also, I didn't put on those there. Okay. Right. So after about 50 fucking hours, we finally have a pad. We want this to... What is that doing? Actually doing anything at all? Have a look. That was stretching, wasn't it? Right. Hopefully I haven't fucked with that too much. Let's... Yeah, it's not right. That's going to come in a bit too early. So we will delete that. That looks about right now. Okay, yep, that looks right. Let's extend this out. Let's add another one. Let's see how it sounds all together. It's probably going to sound garbage because there's nothing to make any kind of variation, so it's all pretty straight. A pad. So that will be... Volume will be dropped down on that. Can I do it through this? I can, can't I? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the bass is going to be quite right. Maybe the bass isn't in key. Wouldn't be surprised because I didn't actually do what I was doing earlier. We'll check that actually. Right. I don't like those vocal stabs coming in there at all. They're just a bit too random as I've got them at the moment. So what I might do is I'm just going to delete that one for now, and then when it comes to adding in just some little bits and bobs, some little highlights here and there, I shall go into this and select a few of the actual samples themselves. I'll do it on a different track, so that way we don't get that complete randomization. I'm going to have to redo this bass, make sure it's in key, and I'll do that again using my notebook. now I've figured it out, and struggling what to think, what to show next, really, because I could spend ages on this introduction here, but we'll probably try and do a riser of some kind, because that's going to be quite important. We'll get a riser so we can transition from the pad into the drums, and then we'll have the riser again, and maybe a variation of it to have like a bit of a pre-drop. So I think the riser, I mean, it's always an important part of your track, but I don't quite know how it's going to work in Dreams. That's not right. What? Honestly, what is going on with me? The same for this one as well. Yeah, this is... I think I've done something when I was doing the stretching, and it's messed with the lengths of everything. Okay, so more boring music theory, and this time I've got a bit of a double whammy, triple whammy even. I've got three signs that I've detuned. Let's open you up. Okay, so at least we're starting at D, and again, whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. So whole, 1, E, we're not using E, half, so F, so third one's correct. And then we want a whole, G, and then another whole. So all those are actually in the correct key. Just don't know whether it sounds quite right. Maybe because they're detuned a little. It's just throwing it off. But I don't know. I don't know about you guys. It just doesn't quite gel right to me. Yeah. Doesn't quite sit right for my liking. I think it could be the pad as well. Just loop this for a second. Let's work as it as a whole, because at least then we will be able to make sure it gels properly. The only problem is that as you're listening to it over and over and over again, you get so used to it, you start to think, oh, it's fine, it sounds fine, it works. I mean, I'm already getting that now. be the glide as well. Let's... Oh look, home octave. I really should read these bubbles more. Definitely not. I don't know. I'm going to leave it like that. I'll replace the other two with this one. No, I won't, because I'm always pressing the wrong buttons. And we will work on a riser. It definitely sounds better pitched up, I think. Yeah, it sounds okay. Right, so as we're working on a riser, I'm actually going to extend this out even further. I'm going to do it quite far. Bring this right in though, so I can keep it looped nicely. And we are going to move all of these. I might even... No. No. We'll leave it there for now. Oops. Okay, so... Right. Now, we are going to be interested in just making a little riser here at 16 bars, and we're going to introduce something else. So it could just be a little one shot, or it could be something a bit more substantial. We'll cross that bridge when I stumble towards it. Right, so now a riser. So for a riser, we're going to want lots of reverb, lots of delay possibly, or a shorter delay, chorus, lots of effects really, just to kind of make it interesting. But importantly, we're going to want it to rise in pitch, and we're going to want it to rise like with a filter. So we shall have a look at what kind of sounds we can affect with those kinds of things. So we will search for an instrument. They're all a bit too strong for my taste. Kind of like that. It's already got that kind of slightly washed sound as it is. I'm going to leave it here. Let it overlap slightly. We'll adjust the position at some other point. In fact, I'm probably going to want to put it in a timeline as well, aren't I? Because that's just how shit is these days in Dreams. Timeline in timeline. And we'll move that to... we'll get it squared up. Okay. There. Right. Open you up. Change this to riser. I'm going to call this small riser actually because we don't want it to be massive because it's not for a drop, it's just at the end of a 16 bar transition. Oop. All caps. Small riser. Okay. We'll grab our pad, put it in there. Let's open it up in piano roll, and we can just draw a nice long note. And we're going to want it slightly up the scale, but we don't want it too far up because we're going to want to adjust the pitch. And obviously if we have it far too high, then it doesn't sound right. It doesn't give you any leeway to raise the pitch even further. So I'm going to start a little bit lower, I think. So I didn't really need to extend it out, but yeah, we'll go with F. To our tools, get our pencil. And nice long note. And we want it to run the full length, so full 4 bars. preview that. It's going to sound absolute garbage, but it doesn't matter. I wish I could just quickly go. I just want to loop here. You know, just select. Is there a way of doing that? Do you think? Am I not? Ooh. Oh, there we go. Boom. There it is. Ah, there we go. That makes things so much nicer and easier. So we'll trim it here. We'll leave it. No, it doesn't sound like much at the moment. And it won't. Okay. But now we're going to do all of our editing. So, going to the wrong place as usual. See, I'm going to want to eventually automate a volume, but we'll increase the release, and I'm going to whack the sustain and decay up because I want a nice strong note. Pitch is going to be something that we're going to automate, and we're going to go full on with the pitch. The sound itself might be a bit strong, like a bit synth, a bit too much synth. It needs some white noise in there. Okay. So let's first of all we'll adjust the pitch, and we're going to do the same again with keyframes. So I want that open, and I want pitch. Just move that there, and we go. Ah, damn it. Keyframe 1. And we're just going to adjust pitch by 1. Well, for some reason it's... Oh yes, of course, because of the keyframe. So it's going to... it might not work with a keyframe. Just thinking about that, because it's already trying to make it +2. Let's try deleting that keyframe. And I'm going to set it to -1. Hope I can trick that keyframe. Right. Now we're going to add another keyframe. And we will take this all the way up. Okay, so that should now... No, it shouldn't. Because we haven't added our curve, have we? Our blend. So I'm just going to give it a nice straight. Right. We're getting there far too early. So we're going to want to... try and delay that a little. I want it... It's a bit too fast for my liking. I want it a bit stretched. So let's try extending this out for 8 bars and stretching this. Can I stretch this? It doesn't seem to want to stretch. Shame it's hitting that maximum pitch already, so... I've got a feeling I'm going to have to extend the keyframe far beyond far beyond the actual riser itself. Let's try here. Bit too far. Okay, that seems to be what we want. So let's listen to that in its full context. Of course, I've stretched it out 8 bars now, haven't I? So we'll move this back. We're also going to automate the volume as well. Using a keyframe. So we'll start at 0. Ah, you son of a bitch. Right, and now we're going to get another keyframe. Put it here because I'm going to want eventually the volume to come in. And we'll adjust this blend. To get a nice ramp. Let's try that. Right. Looks like it's... Oops. No. We want it to keep the changes on that keyframe. What? What is going on now? What was going on with that pitch? Why is the volume going back down to 0? So the reason why I put that keep changes was to... I've done it on the wrong one. Keep changes. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, I did it on the wrong one. I think I might edit this that's not so loud. Okay. No. God, I'm so stupid. There used to be a way of editing this keyframe, and I don't know how to do it anymore. Do I need to delete the blend or something? Okay. Let's just add a new keyframe in then, because we'll go for half volume. That sounds about right to me. So, we have a very basic small riser. We'll edit this some more. This fucking controller. We'll edit this a little bit more so that we can toy with the delay a little bit. Because if I make it nice and dry, then I'm just going to adjust that release, because I want the delay to carry the release and the reverb to carry it. I'm going to send this to a different reverb and adjust it like I did with the delay. Which I've got here. So this is like a dub style delay that I set to quarter notes. So, into music mode. And sound gadgets. And we've got our different ones. So we're going to go with music 2 reverb. And we'll stick that roughly near our delay, and you can see it's set at the moment to Marble Hall. So first of all, we need to switch it over. I'm happy with the delay, that dub delay. It's quite a common one used in DMB. I personally love fucking dub delay. Or tape delay. So this here allows us to change our reverb profile. So I do want a long one. That's what she said. And we'll see here we've got a medium, empty warehouse, a large that should be. Pre-delay I'll leave for the moment, pitch shift I'll leave for the moment, shorten Just... If you're ever unsure about a sound or an effect or something that you're tuning, the best thing to do, and is turn it all the way up and work backwards. So think of it like sculpting. You want loads of material to work with, and then you chip it away at it, and that's exactly what I'm just doing here. So I'm struggling to see what this parameter is doing. So what I do is I just turn the reverb. I take it this is a send really. So this is a reverb send, and I don't know whether this really. Let's have a listen. Yeah, I can hear that. So that does shorten it, but not. I mean, it tightens it up really. Infinite reverb. This is going to wash it right out. There we go. And I'm going to drop the volume of that reverb because we don't want it overpowering. We'll leave it around about 50. Oh, a bit of feedback there. So we'll drop that down. What have we got here? Reverb chaining. We can chain it into something else. A bit of distortion. I'll muddy things a little. Now I'm going to cut a low and a bit high so that we don't have too many kind of rogue frequencies. Low is probably a bit too much. Just give it a little boost. Okay, so that's not too bad. Wish there was a separate filter instrument. I keep wanting to say plug-in. Let's see. Yeah, I want a slow chorus. It's just this filter. Might have to use an EQ as a filter, I think. Feedback. Is going to be a problem. Okay, let's try editing. Let's try editing that with the keyframes again. I'm not too hopeful this is going to work, actually. And I'll take this. Oops. Take it down to 40. No. 25. And then we want another keyframe. I'm going to pull that in to here. And then we'll want to... Oh. Okay. And then we'll... Oh, no. Keep changes for this one. We'll make that a sharp curve or sharper curve. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay, I've fucked up something somewhere. Now, I don't know if there's a way of saving all this as a loop, so if I could save this as an audio file to then use in a project, that would make things... Oh, excuse me. It would make things a bit easier, because then hopefully I'll be able to eliminate that feedback that I'm getting there, record it without the feedback, and then not have to worry about it feedbacking at all. Because sometimes it is getting a bit of feedback, and other times it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just Edit that infinite reverb. No, maybe I should just not have it sending to that delay. Maybe it's the delay? Could be, but first of all we'll go here and we will just drop that reverb down a bit. To see how much of a difference that's going to make. Not much. It's still there, so I reckon it could be that delay that I added in. That's odd, because it doesn't look like it's actually activated, does it? Possibly the Rogue chorus then, not so much the delay. Okay, so we will keep that like that for the moment. And that'll be our very basic riser. Then we're going to want, because that riser is building up something, we're going to want something to impact here, here after 16 bars. And that could be something as simple as a crash symbol. Again, with some delay. I've not found a way to reverse, because I like to layer the risers so that I have a riser, then I have the same riser but reverse it and then do different processing on it. And if that sounds good, I then will duplicate that and sometimes unreverse it, add some more effects to it, and just keep bouncing out different versions until I've got a riser that I'm happy with. In this, obviously, it's not as complex as that. Got hiccups from somewhere. More cold tea is probably needed. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, you can't really go into that much depth with the actual editing side of things. Here's hoping. Oh god, that's awful. Cold tea. Here's hoping they actually add a lot more to the audio editing engine side of things, and not just focus on the art and game logic, which, I mean, it's important, but at the same time, I hope they treat all the kind of pillars as they are, with as much, with the same amount of enthusiasm. So, Ugh. We will search for the most basic of impact um, things, for want of a better word, impact things, and it's a good old crash cymbal, which has been used since fucking music was, well, since drums were used. So again, we're going to go into music mode, and we will search. And it's going to be instruments, because I don't think it's going to be as a effect. Drum kits. Oh, there we go, we've got our electro crash. So I'm going to stamp that one in. And it doesn't need to be particularly long, because it's just going to be one shot. Oh, how did they get that reverse? How do I see how they did that? Reverse long, okay. How have they done this? Granular synthesis. Grain reverse. Right. More experimentation is needed. And we're literally just going to get one note and stick it in. Make sure that I'm not selected on anything. Okay. And that sounded really quiet. So it sounds like it's getting louder and louder and louder as it repeats over. What I'll do then is I will edit the volume of the timeline. That needs to be dropped down. We will stop. And we will extend that out. Yeah, that rise is not quite right at all. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's pretty shit. I've probably overdone something. I'm suspecting delay and reverb. Which was the volume one? Yeah. Do not like this at all. Why can't I get to that timeline? Thought I'd lost it for a second. That's annoying as well, that little kind of boop. I think that's another quirk of the engine. Oh. What have I done to it? What have I done? Might have to start again. It's really horrendous, isn't it? That was our pitch, if I remember. And the second one is going to be volume. This one here. That was our filter. I'm going to delete the filter one. Because it wasn't actually a filter, it was an EQ. Let's try now. Okay, you can really hear that chorus trying to still a little bit of feedback there, isn't there? Try getting rid of the distortion. I'm going to try something. Try the reverse. Really need to play around with this granular stuff. Oh! This is insane. I've never really played around with any kind of like granular synthesis before, and I think what I'm going to have to do though is EQ really hard. Let's try using the filter envelope to create that bit of movement. Rather than using the EQ. Yeah, I mean, we're getting somewhere. Let's try turning down this volume now. It's probably a bit too loud. I would prefer it to be a bit more behind in the mix. Oh, this is awful. Okay, let's go over to our... Oh, God. Getting turned around. Go into the reverbs. All the verbs. That sounds a little better to me. It's still not quite perfect, but it will do. So there we go, we've got our small riser, we've got a crash at the end of that riser, and I'm probably going to leave it there for now. I might edit this offline, just so that I can get to grips with a lot of stuff without boring everyone to tears, because I feel like I'm doing that quite a lot, where I am figuring things out. I know I've put that in the title, that I'm figuring things out, but still, I should imagine it's quite a chore to watch. Right, well, slowly but surely we're starting to piece something together. It may not be amazing, but that doesn't matter. It's all about figuring things out. Once you've learnt the technical stuff, then the creative stuff can follow. If you're a techie person like me, as you've seen, I'm not exactly musically gifted in knowing my music theory, but technically I'm usually pretty good. So, thank you if you've made it this far. I hope there's been some revelations for you. I know there were a few for me. Personally, I'm going to be messing around with granular synthesis a lot more to see what kind of interesting stuff I can come up with, particularly now I know that there's that reverse in there, and we've got time stretch as well. So these are things that I didn't know when I started the stream, and hopefully you guys discovered them as well. So again, yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you the next time I decide to do some music production online, at least, because like I said, I'm going to edit this offline for a bit, just so I can be a bit more comfortable and work at my own pace without feeling like there's some pressure there to keep things really interesting, because I know that it can be incredibly boring watching someone just stumble around in the dark. Funny, but boring. And yeah, take care, guys.